On this week's episode, we look back at United's first win at Selhurst Park in 5 years. Cropper's Transfer Corner is back with a raft of midfield targets. There's a preview of West Ham United's visit to Old Trafford on Thursday, and we answer more of your questions in the Gummers Mailbag. All this and much more on Fergie's Gone, a Manchester United podcast. Hello and welcome to Fergie's Gone. My name is Nathan Irvine and I'm joined as always, and I can say as always because it is becoming regular now. Ahmad Dohair is here and Mr. Paul Cropper all the way from sunny Bury is here on the line.
Sunny.
How are you doing, lads?
Sunny.
How are we doing?
I'm all right. We're all right. Freezing here. Could cut glass with these nipples.
That is not safe for work, that, mate. I'm going to have to blur those out. Disgusting. Put your top back down. Me and Ahmad are fresh off the football field. About 12 hours ago, we were on the football pitch together for the first time in I think 10 months, mate. I think it was 10 months since the last time we played football together. It was thoroughly enjoyable. I did shout a little bit, but that's just me, and I'm sure everyone is used to that. I did tell someone that I wasn't Patrick Dorgu last night because they were telling me to run up and down the bloody left back position.
How's the grinds?
I'm all right, actually. My ankle's sore. The
Okay.
Achilles is a little bit tender, but yeah, it was a funny one. We was playing against an ex-Vitória FC player, so an ex-Portuguese professional player last night. He was on the opposition, but me and Ahmad had him locked down, nice and easy. And as discussed on WhatsApp, we could have made it professional based on that one performance. So we might make a late run, lads. We might make a late run. Speaking of late runs, it was Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1 at the weekend.
Delivers right-footed in towards the near post where Xerxes managed to make the run, gets to the byline 2, fires it in! Oh, Xerxes with an absolute screamer from the narrowest of angles, and Manchester United are level. Out to the right-hand side, which take it short. Shot comes in, Manchester United are ahead. Mason Mount, short free kick from Bruno Fernandes, rattled home in at the near post by Mason Mount.
Absolutely disgraceful first half, I thought. But Manchester United seemed to pull it out of the fire in the second half. Not sure what Ruben Amorim said to them, but it definitely cut through. Goals from Mason Mount and Joshua Xerxes. Xerxes' first goal in 364 days in the league. 364 days, just 1 day short of a full calendar year. Or not calendar year, just 365 days. And Mason Mount's first 90 minutes completed in the league since joining the club in 2023, which is an absolute madness. Bruno has moved up to, I think it's 4th on the all-time assist list with 55 and 56 in terms of his assists. But that was nice, weren't it? Because only Ahmad thought that we was going to win. So you got exactly what we thought we was going to get, Ahmad. Was that exactly how you thought it was going to go as well?
More or less, I guess. Honestly, the only reason I felt that we would get a win before the game was that, well, like I said on the last pod, that Palace have Europa League, and they never do well after having Europa League match.
Conference League. They were booted out of the Europa League, which they're still a bit salty about.
Yeah. So, and again, like whenever I feel we go into a game, no one expecting us to win, the players don't feel as much pressure, and then somehow they manage to do something. But like I said, the first half was awful, and if you told me that we were gonna turn it around second half, I would have told you there's no chance based on that performance. But it was good. It was really good. I enjoyed it.
And I know when you were talking about, you've said this before, like when the chips are down, Manchester United somehow managed to raise it. We've got West Ham coming up tomorrow, I think it is, in a game that we're expected to win. So we'll come on to that one later. But Paul, what did you think of that performance?
I got a few notes on this. So I've got like ugly, sloppy, wasteful, them kind of words. First half was drab, wasn't it? And then as bad as we were the first half, Palace were equally as bad the second half. They looked tired. Both teams, it was just low on quality, wasn't it? I watched Arsenal v Bayern Munich the other week, and the standard that they're at, these two teams are nowhere near it. Just not even close to how the ball gets moved, organisation, patterns of play, and stuff like that. But you've got to take the win. You have to take any win. Like I said, in the Premier League is good. Away from home at Palace, I said last week, and I think it was put on there that a few of these players might bottle it, and you've got to say fair play to some of the players that I thought struggled. Thought Luke Shaw was outstanding all game. Lenny Oro struggled again. Got dragged off. He's going through a tough time at the minute, Lenny Oro. But to come away with 3 points in that game, you've got to say hats off to some of the players, yeah.
Well, it was first win at Selhurst Park in 5 years, I think it was. I think the last time we won there, it was Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford that scored the goals in the league. I think we may have beaten them there in the League Cup, perhaps, or the FA Cup. But yeah, that's a terrible record. As you said, though, Crystal Palace didn't help themselves. They haven't won a game after a Conference League fixture this season yet. So once they've had a Conference League fixture, their next game in the league, they haven't managed to win yet. So I think that's something that they're struggling with. But in terms of the way that Manchester United came out in the second half, it was exactly what they needed to do. When we're talking about individual performances, I didn't particularly think Bruno was having a great game, but it's those reasons why you keep someone like Fernandes on the pitch, because he'll just do something out of nothing and you'll get 2 goals out of it. He'll either score from a ridiculous angle or from distance, or he'll produce an assist like he has done. And you don't get that high up the list without that type of creativity in terms of assists. I thought he had a fantastic second half. I thought Casemiro had a very good second half as well, apart from we were all worried when he decided to become a rucksack on the back of, I think it was it Will Hughes? Or I can't remember who it was, just on the edge of the area.
It was.
The funny thing about me was that the feed that I was watching it on when that free kick was given in like the 94th minute or whatever it was that the screen froze before the free kick was taken. And when it came back on, it was the players walking off the pitch. And I was like, oh my God, what's happened? And I'm like checking my phone like, oh God, thank you, brilliant. There we go. One person that I did want to pick out, and we talked about individual performances there, Paul, Ahmad, what did you think of Joshua Zirkzee after he scored that goal? Because I was quite happy that he put it past Dean Henderson, who celebrated a save in the 58th second. Let's bear that in mind, which shows you the sort of small club mentality that he's dipped into now. But I thought his goal was fantastic. And then after that, it might have just been me, I thought he transformed into a player that was just literally, he went Super Saiyan. He just felt like he believed in himself after that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that Joshua Zirkzee is a confidence player. He's a player that feeds off of confidence. He has the ability. We've always seen it. I've always thought that he does have the potential to be a very useful player to have in the squad. He can score you a goal. He can hold up play. And like I feel he's very silky on the ball, and it's tough finding that along with a player that's, I don't know how big he is, like 6'5", something like that. But yeah, the first half he was also he was rusty. His touches were off. His passes were off. But sometimes you just need that little bit of confidence. And it was a really good goal. He took it really well. I don't think anyone expected him to score from that angle on his weak foot as well. But yeah, it was after that. It felt like it was pressure off of him, and he started just playing more freely, not overthinking anything. And I think that's when you get the best out of him.
I think the goal scoring and shooting is something that I've always criticised him for. Like, I just don't feel like he's confident when he's striking the ball. He rarely puts his laces through it. Obviously, he caught that goal absolutely perfectly to slip it past Dean Henderson. But Paul, did you think it was? I felt, and I know this might be stretching a little bit, that the touch, and then after that, in the way that he was putting himself about and the way that he was like holding up play and trying to bring people in, it was almost like, it might just be the hair, but Marouane Fellaini-esque You know when we used to play him up top, I felt
Yes.
like he became barrel chested after that as well. Like he wanted the aggression. He wanted people to be going into him at the back and at the side of him. And I think he works really well with his passes.
It's like he grew a couple of inches after the goal, wasn't it? And he was like he stuck one up everyone, like us calling him out and saying things about him. And after take that, have that, see what you think now. Fair play, because the first hour I thought he was rubbish, and then after that,
I don't think any of them. I don't think any
no,
of them
exactly,
were particularly good.
So-
And
Yeah.
and I think what Ahmad said there about like with Xerxes growing in stature after that goal, I think the entire team did, which is a
Yes.
little bit of a worry, but understandable that they need this goal to kind of get confidence that they can go on and do something. Like last week against Everton or earlier on in the week against Everton, not great. And then they managed to do this, and it's like, oh, we know what to do again, and they just pressed and pressed and pressed.
Yeah, no matter what we say about the squad, they have shown character, haven't they, recently? Coming from behind, scoring. I mean, obviously the Everton game, we're just going to have to put that to the side because there wasn't a lot of character shown there. But this second half here, because the first half was so bad, for them to come out, press the way. The manager's obviously got at him. He's obviously got into him at half. Somebody has at half time, either one of the leaders in the squad or the manager's done it himself. And they've come out, right, okay, we're going to have to do something here. And they all pressed. They were quicker to the ball. They were working harder as a team. They all looked more aggressive in the tackle. Then Xerxes gets his goal, and he's more, look at me now, right, I can do more here. Like I say, he grew a couple of inches, but then if one player does that, then the whole team seems to go, oh, well, he's doing it now, so I have to. And it's not a good thing to be. You should be doing that from the kickoff, shouldn't you, really? We could have been 2 up. We could have been 2 up in the first 10 minutes. Casemiro should have scored a header. He should have scored in the first minute, like you said. But equally, in that first hour, Palace could have got 2. Mateta puts one wide, Dunte in, Lenioro gives another chance. So this balance is something that they're going to have to work on, but it's going to come with time with this squad, because the mentality needs to be worked on. These mistakes that they keep making need to be worked on, because other teams will put them away. You're 2-0 down, and then you're not coming back into the game, are you? So it's something they need to improve on. But how can you criticise a team when you've just picked up 3 points?
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
pick holes in every single performance, but let's just be on a positive. Let's try and take this now into the next game. And yeah, fair play to some of them lads. Fair play. Yeah, tough place to go, Pally.
Exactly, and I think even players that we've been questioning their selection for a long time. Luke Shaw had a very good game, I thought, in the second half particularly. I thought Diogo Dalot had a standard but solid game. The one thing that frustrates me about him, and I've said this many a time before, he finds himself in like behind the opposition defence a lot, or one-on-one with a defender a lot. His final ball, if he could just get that consistency with his final ball, I think he'd actually be useful going down that flank. And there was something I just wanted to, before we carry on with the positives about this, there was, when we talk about Diogo Dalot playing at left back, he was obviously selected over Patrick Dorgu. I'll start with you first, Ahmad. What did you think of Amorim's criticism of Patrick Dorgu before that game? Because it was very pointed. There was people taking it out of context, saying that they're not the best. That's not what he said. If you listen to the entire clip, he was saying that they're not at their best. That's what he was trying to say. But it was, and then Dorgu goes and he likes a post that's criticising Amorim's selection of Casemiro and Fernandes in the team. Like that reeks of petulance. But do you think there's an issue there? Do you think it was something that Amorim should do with Dorgu, or do you think he's going to make matters worse?
I don't think it's an issue. First of all, I don't think it's an issue, and I also don't think like Amram was doing that on purpose. For example, to get a reaction out of Dorgo. I think it was a question, and he was answering it, and he was talking generally, and the question happened to be about Dorgo, and then everyone just took it out of context. And as to the issue with Dorgo liking the post on Instagram, honestly, I pay no attention to these things because players most of the time they don't know what they're liking. They just like anything on Instagram, on Twitter. They don't know what they're doing sometimes. Um, so yeah, I don't think there's an issue, and I don't think Dorgo is the type of player to throw a tantrum and just be upset and cause an issue and whatever. I think it's fine. I think it's water under the bridge if there was an issue already, and he had to take him out of the team because of his performances. He's not been good enough.
Really?
I mean, that's obvious. And um, I think Dallo did well as he can. Honestly, I don't think he did mistakes.
I knew this was coming. He's not having it. Ahmad is not a fan, and he's not having even a 6 out of 10. He's not having it.
I mean, no, I didn't criticize him or anything. Like even during the game, I was like, okay. Honestly, I did like I was pissed at him during the game. The whole game, I was swearing at him. But it's just because like I feel he can do much better, and like he does get into positions, like you said, like he gets into positions where if it was anyone else, we can create so much more, and just frustrates me. But yeah, I don't know. Like between Dorgo and Dallo, just we have to keep interchanging between them, just as he's doing. Sometimes play Dorgo, sometimes play Dallo, depending on the game and depending on their form. But I mean, the bottom line is that we have to replace them both. We have to get someone to play with. That's I think that's very, very important for the squad.
I think that is right. One player that might be a replacement in the summer that was having a little audition for Manchester United again. It seems like we play them every week. These midfielders that could potentially come in and join Manchester United. The rumor is, according to the Athletic, is that Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson. Well, Elliot Anderson is the number one. That's the number one, and then it's Carlos Baleba. And then Adam Wharton is a little bit further down the list in terms of where he ranks. He was offered to Manchester United previously, back when he was at Blackburn, was it that he was at?
Yep.
Yeah, previously. And they turned it down. I don't know if anything has changed, but one thing I wanted to kind of touch on before we move on to the next segment is he played very well in the first half, and you can see why Manchester United would be interested in him. However, if he's struggling now to play a couple of games in a row in the week because he was hooked, because I felt he melted in the second half completely. If United's ambitions are to get back into Europe and to be competing in every single competition, you need someone there that's got the stamina that's going to be playing 90 minutes week in, week out. And if Adam Wharton's not capable of doing that now, at his age, that for me would keep him further down the list than an Elliot Anderson, for example, who I think has played pretty much every minute for Nottingham Forest this season. Is that a worry for you, Paul?
The physicality issue, I think that's probably why you've got Anderson at the top of the list, isn't it? That's what they want. They want physical players. He's very, very tidy on the board and what he's a lovely footballer to watch, isn't he? But it's going to be an issue for him. For the whole Palace, if so, these clubs that get into Europe and they're all right, we're in Europe, and then the season after they struggle. We see it all the time, don't we? And that's why you need a big squad. It's why you need players to come in and just do 90 minutes during a week, and that's why you need a massive squad in the Premier League to compete on all fronts and to do well in Europe and to do well in the Premier League. Some clubs have made it look easy over the years, but it's not. It's really not, and we see that more often than not. They struggle the year after. So for him to do an hour at that level, I mean, the whole squad dropped off. The whole team for Palace dropped off, didn't they? And it's just a pattern that they will see. If you've not got kids to come in, or you've not got the likes of Xerxes or, like Dallo, they're the type of players that you should be able to bring in the conference. Let them do a full game. And then at the weekend in Premier League, you start your better team, but not everybody has that luxury now. So.
I'm going to end on a positive here, Ahmad. Lisandro Martinez came back into the side. He managed to play, I think it was it 10 minutes that he got overall. How important do you think he'll be for the season moving forward?
Very important. I think a fit Lisandro Martinez, if he gets back to the form that he was at before the injury. I think he's one of the most important players in the team. For more than one reason. First of all, defensively, he's one of our better defenders, I think. People always seem to mention his height, but honestly, I never. Sometimes it's an issue, but most of the time he does deal with all the long balls. He has a way of dealing with them. But on the ball, I think he's very important for the system. He's a player that can play those line breaking passes, balls over the top, and I think even more important than that is his character, that what he brings to the team, the intensity, the aggression, the leadership. You saw, like, even when he was injured, he was always in and around the squad, in the locker room, traveling with the team as well. Just because of his personality, I think is very important. So let's hope he stays fit, and let's hope he gets back to the form that he was at before the injury. And I think it's an amazing option to have Luke Shaw and Lisandro rotating in that left centre back position.
It's time. He's back. Everyone, the fan favourite.
We love it.
Hit
don't
it.
we? Drop this
go
transfer
on.
corner. Woo!
We did try and use Suno, the AI music maker, to come up with a little ditty for this segment, but it felt like it was 3 a.m. in an Ibiza nightclub and not many other people around with what it came up with. But yeah, we may roll it out, but we will do one for this segment. But it's good to have this return because we are closing in on the January transfer window, and Manchester United definitely need recruits. It's looking like they are going to spend money in this transfer window. The rumours are building that they have taken an option to look at a midfielder or two, potentially, this window. So what have you got for us this week, sir?
Yeah. Funny you say centre midfielders. It is centre midfielders. Looks like it's a priority. You mentioned the 2-3 top ones there. I don't particularly think any of them will happen in January. I think there'll be something.
Just give us a recap of those three.
Yeah, Elliot Anderson, Carlos Baliba, who got dropped at weekend, didn't even start, and Adam Wharton. I think they're the three main targets, but like I said, I don't think that it's possible to get any of them in January. Also, World Cup year, is their price going to go through the roof if they perform well? Yeah, we'll see. But the reports are, Sunday Mirror is saying that Elliot Anderson is top of the list, as you mentioned before. 21-year-old. Unfortunately, I think he's also top of City's list, I was reading as well. But they want 80 million plus for him. Similar price brackets for the three of them. So you're looking at, I don't think we'll get but two of that. So you're looking at one.
Yeah.
I think it depends, it boils down to other options that they're going to get and who's the next best option. 80 million to 100 million. Thoughts? Who would be your favourite?
Well, Elliot Anderson was apparently rumoured to have told his entourage that he wants to move to Man City, which kind of came out of left field. I don't know if it was mischief making from the ITKs from the fan accounts, but it was it was kind of a storm in a teacup. There wasn't really much of it. But for me, I think there's two things at play there. When you say it's a World Cup year, there's a risk, obviously. Manchester United could go and pay 100 million now for Elliot Anderson, and Nottingham Forest will probably snap your hand off and take it because it's 100 million. He could go to the World Cup and have an absolute stinker at the World Cup, and then his price comes down. Are they going to be guaranteed to get that 100 million after that? Or could they hold on and hope that it goes up to 150 million? I don't know.
You're not getting that out of the way.
But
you're not getting 150 million.
I don't think so. And you know, they're a candidate to be slipping out of the Premier League as well because things aren't going terribly well for them and Sean Dyche at the moment. What do you think, Ahmad? Because it's clear that Manchester United do need a central midfielder, but out of those three, can you see any of them lining up for Manchester United by the end of January?
The only one I think there's a slight chance it might happen is Carlos Baleba, just because I don't think he's doing well for Brighton and he keeps being dropped. Like Paul said, he was dropped for the weekend as well. And I think even personal terms and everything is already agreed between United and Carlos Baleba. And do you have a case of convincing Brighton, telling them, well, look, like we were ready to offer you around like 80 million. You were asking for 100 million in the summer. And look, after a few months, no one's even gonna come close to that valuation. If you wait another 6 months from January to the summer, it could drop even more. So you can offer something and then you can negotiate. I think that's the only chance that something happens in January. As for Adam Morton and Elliot Anderson, I don't think there's a chance because I don't think either Palace or Forest would be willing to sell. And there's a lot of suitors lining up with offers for both of them. And they're not in a rush and they don't need to sell. They have big clubs, like they can start a bidding war easily for them. So there's no chance for any of them to happen, I think. Just Baleba, there's a chance. Again, I don't think like it's a very small chance. I think it's more realistic if you go for someone that would be considered more of a squad player in the coming seasons for Juventus. And you just try and integrate him into the squad. You still start Bruno and Casemiro, and then this player starts coming in and out of the team. I think that makes the most sense.
I think the one thing that would give me pause for thought on Adam Wharton potentially going this window is Oliver Glasner, after United won at the weekend, he came out and criticised the owners for not strengthening in the summer. He said that the squad depth is nowhere near what it needs to be. The first time that they're playing in Europe, and it's the same thing after every game. So he's pretty angry about that. I don't think Glasner will be there next season. I think he's ready to walk out. But if there's any team out of those three that would sell their player and would use that money to then distribute it around the squad, I think it would be Crystal Palace out of all three of them. I think Palace would look at Adam Wharton and think, right, he's a massive asset for us. He's so integral to this. But what can we get? Can we get three players for the money that we get from the Adam Wharton deal? But again, I don't think he's even on that list. I think it's just people putting two and two together. Anyway, who else is on that list, Paul? What else we got there?
Like Ahmad said there are options that I feel are more gettable. Is that the right word in January? It seems to be mostly the players for that six. So we spoke about João Gomez before from Wolves. It was on our radar before he went to Wolves. 44 million is the price that they're looking for from BBC Sport. That's one option, which Premier League proven. He's obviously the struggling this year. He always seems to do well enough in a team that's struggling. I think that would be quite a good option. Put in the same bracket these three. One that came out of left field was a player we were also linked with. Funnily enough, was at Wolves. Ruben Neves from Al Hilal, 18 million. He looks like he's maybe a bit fed up over in your neck of the woods and would fancy a move back to the Premier League. So 18 million as well. His wages will probably be astronomical, wouldn't they? If you've gone there. That's another. And then we'll just throw in a similar one, which I think I'm all for. This one, it would be, once again, we spoke about him 6 months ago. Conor Gallagher is available on. They signed him. We tried to get him on loan, but it looks like Atletico Madrid would be happy to let him go for about 26 million in January. So those three, I believe it will be one of them that come in January. We'll see. Favorite one you want out of them three?
Well, I've spoken about this before, and obviously, it's not. I'm not trying to claim ITK, but João Gomez is probably going to be the one that we sign in January, and I don't think they'll make another signing. But there's the other person that they want or that they're linked with, which it's gone under the radar. No one's talking about it anymore. But even his agent came out and said he's available for less now than he was in the summer. Ederson at Atalanta.
Yes. Yeah.
His agent, he's desperate to get into the Premier League. Like he wants that move to go through. United looked at him, and I think they balked at the amount that they wanted for him. I think it was something like 70 million that Atalanta were asking for him, which is just ridiculous. I think it's down to something like 40 mil now, might even be less. So I could see if United are going to strengthen, if they've made the contingency plan of Casemiro's leaving because they're not going to opt into that 1-year extension, they'll never do that. He's probably going to go. They might look at Bruno and think either we can move him out and put him higher up the pitch, or we can cash in on him. I think they might try and make both João Gomez and Ederson
Interested.
an option. But for me, it'll be if João Gomez doesn't arrive in January, I'll be very surprised. Very surprised.
I agree with that. Yeah. Going from one side of Madrid to the other, this is 365. Man United are ready to table a bid of 80 million euros for Federico Valverde. Reports will bust up with Alonso, with the United circling, but Madrid want 100 million plus. That's probably just a little bit of his agent throwing his name out there.
Yeah,
but what a player.
No chance.
Yep.
I mean, yes, probably would take him, but no, that's never going to happen. And like you say, mischief making. It's not harmonious in that Real Madrid squad. They're all coming out against Xabi Alonso. Apparently, Vinny Jr. said he's not signing a new contract until if Xabi Alonso is still the manager. There was footage, and you don't know whether or not it's true or what was actually said, but there's footage of Vinny Jr. going to take a corner, Xabi Alonso coming striding out of his technical area, pretty much all the way, like halfway down the pitch, to shout at Vinny Jr. saying, "It's my team, and I don't want you taking this corner." So they had to wait for Trent Alexander-Arnold to come and take it, which, I mean, that's what they bought him for, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He takes set pieces.
Yeah, there's also reports of Zidane and that they're keeping him on the back burner just in case things go wrong, isn't there?
I've
trouble
I've
at the
heard
mill
that as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Ahmad will be happy with this one.
Wait.
Sorry.
I want
Go
his
on,
opinion on Valverde, because I don't know much about him. I'm just saying it's a body, and it's not those two we've got in central midfield now. Ahmad, what are you saying about Valverde as an option?
I think he would be a dream option, but I think Madrid would be ready to sack Alonso before thinking of selling Valverde. I think he's, I don't know, their most important player, even in terms of, again, like in terms of personality in the squad and these things. I think he's their future captain as well. He plays every minute for them. He can play in every single position you put him in, and he always gives you a performance. There's no chance. Valverde, like Paul said, it's one of those reports that are just, like, whatever, you just ignore them. But like for example, I would take, going back to the previous options, I would definitely take João Gomez. He would be my number one option. Then 100% I would take Ederson for that price. But we need to get someone, like, I don't know how, but we need to get someone in January, because if anything happens to Bruno or Casemiro, like, or their form drops or they get injured or anything, there's no one to come in except for Kobe. Ugarte, I'm sure you're gonna get to this point as well. It's not looking good for Ugarte as well.
What do you think to Conor Gallagher? What's your thoughts on?
I would take him. He would be my third option after Ederson. I would 100% take him. I like him. I think he would be very good for this system as well. I think he's. I don't know why. I think he's for some reason he gets hate for. I don't know why. I think he's a really good player. Like, I think he does a job. For Palace he was amazing. For Chelsea as well, he was really good. I don't know why Chelsea fans were always on his back, but he always does a job, and he runs his socks off. He covers every single blade of grass on the pitch, and he has quality on the ball. I mean, he's not amazing, but he does a job. So I think he would be very good for the system.
I think Diego Simeone doesn't fancy him anymore at Atletico Madrid. He's not doing what he wants him to do. He came on as a half-time substitute last night against Barcelona in the 3-1 loss at the so it makes me sick saying this, the Spotify Nou Camp. I fear that's going to happen with Old Trafford. You know what I mean? The Ineos Old Trafford. Daggers to the heart. But Conor Gallagher came on 46th minute, didn't play particularly well, and I think this is one of the reasons why he's been linked with a move back now. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it just fades. You know, it can start off at a canter and things go well, but when it's like day in, day out, the novelty's worn off, the honeymoon period is over, you're expected to kind of drag the team a bit further on. And I think that's kind of what's happened with Gallagher. I think there's better options in that side that are going to keep him out of it. So as a loan option with an obligation to buy, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't think he'd be on my list of January signings over someone like an Ederson or João Gomez. I think if you can bring someone in that's going to bolster the squad, he's perfect for that. But I think committing big money to it would be a mistake. Who else have you got on that list, Mr.
I've got
Paul
3 more.
Let's do them.
We'll go with the first one. That is a position I think we desperately, as long with centre midfield, the position that Ahmad mentioned it before, that we really need to upgrade in January or definitely in the summer. There's not many of them that we're being linked with, but left wing backs, because it's such a specialist position. The one that I was reading this morning, I was watching a few clips of him, is Eintracht Frankfurt, Germany left back, Nathaniel Brown, 22-year-old. He's also attracting interest from Real Madrid and Barcelona. Looks about 60 million euros is the price tag that they're looking at. He looks like he is perfect for the left wing back position. He's really aggressive in the tackle, comfortable on the ball. Because he's less footed, he's very comfortable on the left-hand side, which is something that we miss. He looks technically better than Dorgu, not physically, because you're going to struggle to be physically better than Dorgu, because he's an animal. But he looks as if he likes to get forward, but will also work back well on that side. It's a position they're gonna have to try and improve. But because not a lot of people play with left wing backs around Europe, it's somewhere where they're going to struggle. So it's going to have to be a specialist that you get in there to play that. And it might take you 60 to 80 million euros to get somebody like that, because they're not going to let these players go easily. You're not going to get a 20 million euro world-class left wing back, it's just going to slide in there. You could probably do it with a left back, a right back, etc. But wing backs, there's not many of them around. And yeah, he is one that we're being linked with, and I like the look of him, yeah.
But as you famously told me, the Bundesliga does not create good players for the Premier League. I've got photographic evidence of that. So by your philosophy, by your theory,
get him out. Not having him.
Get him out. Get his sign
having him.
and then sack him, and then sack him straight away to prove your point. He's an interesting name, and I've seen bits of him before. But again, if Manchester United are going to improve that position, as you've said there, Paul, it needs to be someone that is proven and that can do it. And Ahmad, was it you that said, not Walker's Peters, I always get the two mixed up, Hudson-Odoi. Double barrel surnames. Hudson-Odoi, is he still your number one choice for coming in and doing a job there?
He was never my number one choice, but
Maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it wasn't you.
No.
Maybe it was someone else.
It was me. But I said at first I said Semenyo, but then I said if you can't get Semenyo, then you can go for someone like Hudson-Odoi, because I think like Paul was saying, if you want to get someone who's a specialist in that role, you're gonna have to spend 60, 70 million. But then I think back to the teams that were playing 5 at the back or 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it. And then, for example, the first team that comes to mind that was successful doing it was Antonio Conte's Chelsea. And he had Victor Moses on the right and Marcos Alonso on the left. Victor Moses was, no one expected him to be, that good in that position and that crucial for the team. He was just a winger who came for 10, 15 million. And he was out of the team until Conte started change the system. So I do think you can find some players that are really good going forward and have some certain characteristics who just have to track back, honestly. Like Ahmad on the right, you would never have put him as a right wing back, but he's doing a job because most of the time he's up there, he's up the pitch. He just has to track back and cover his position. You don't expect much more from him. So if honestly, I still think we don't have to be thinking of players and paying that much money for, unless it's Nuno Mendes, for example, unless it's, I don't know, someone who's proven 100%. But otherwise, I would still look for players like Callum Hudson-Odoi with Prem experience. He's English, he's quick, he's good with both feet, and he tracks back. He keeps running, honestly. He's one of those players that doesn't stop running. He would be very beneficial for the squad. And then you can start changing it depending on the game. If you want to go defensive, then you play, for example, Dallo or Dorgo or something. And if you're playing against someone like, for example, against Everton, against 10 man at Old Trafford on Monday, Callum would have been perfect. You just put him on the left side, and you have Ahmad on the right, and then you technically have like 6 attackers on the pitch. So yeah, I think he's a good option, and let's hope he wanted Quenda. Like this is something that I want to say. Like he wanted Jeffrey Quenda from Sporting, who's technically not a wing back. He's a winger. But he's good. Like he was doing a really good job for Amram at Sporting. So I think you need a similar kind of player to fill that position.
Yeah, true.
Favorite for me, Nathan. Go on. Sorry.
I just wanted to like give a special mention to Mazraoui, who came on for Lenny Yoro at the weekend. I completely forgot about this, but he looked really comfortable in that right centre back role, and I think that's his best position. I don't like him running up and down the pitch. I think he's better coming out when there's support to the right of him, and he can just cover ground and basically just shore up the defence, which is exactly what we needed. I think Lenny Yoro was playing in his flip-flops for the first 45 minutes. And it showed, he got done a couple of times. Dubious foul, but you shouldn't go to ground like that, to be fair, on that penalty. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that Mazraoui, while he's very good as a player, right centre-back is his role. So I think right wing back is probably a place that we need to strengthen as well. Have you got a right wing back on this list, Cropper?
I haven't. I was just because we're talking about left wing backs. I would just say my favourite, and I'm literally just reading him now. He's linked with Everton, 25 million. If you can get him for 25 million, mentioned him the other week, Anthony Robinson from Fulham. He would be ideal, I think. There for 25 million, I think that's a steal. So yeah, he would be my first option there. And if you can get him in January, do it. The next one that I'm going to come out of left field is. I'm not sure how you feel about this. I know he's scored a couple of goals recently. Manchester United have joined Chelsea in a heated race to sign Newcastle United lightning fast winger Harvey Barnes. United have submitted a staggering €60 million bid for the 27-year-old. Thoughts on that one?
No chance. That's absolute rubbish. That's column filling. That is. That's what that is. He's a good player. But there's no chance that they'll be bidding that for a winger as well. Like we just bought Mbumo, Cunha to play those positions. We've got Mount and Bruno that can play there as well. We've got we have strength in depth in those positions. Harvey Barnes ain't it. He ain't coming there, and he's doing well at the moment. He's playing well. He played well the other night as well in the 2-2 draw with Spurs. But no, not for me. Ahmad, Harvey Barnes fan.
I like him, but I don't think he's a player that would really be beneficial for the system. Maybe if we qualify for the Champions, because you're saying like we have depth in those positions, but I think hopefully if we qualify for the Champions League next season, then we do need another winger, like just one player to cover that left side. My choice would be, I said this to you, Nathan, before. It wouldn't be Harvey Barnes, it would be his teammate, Anthony Gordon. I think I really like Anthony Gordon. I think if you bring him in, like he's a player that can carry an attack. So yeah, I would take Anthony Gordon if it was someone from Newcastle.
Okay, who's the last one on your list, Mr. Cropper?
It is a youngster. Everyone can look into him. A Brazilian youngster, Luis Eduardo. According to recent reports, Spanish outlet Diario said Chelsea and Manchester United have opened talks with Brazilian club Grêmio of a possible transfer of 17-year-old centre-back Luis Eduardo. Watched him a few times, watched a few clips of him. 60 million release clause. You seem to be going this way with youngsters, and we've brought in quite a few young centre-halves, haven't we, to put them in that youth team. One just to keep an eye on, go and have a look at him. Looks a tidy player. You don't know until they get in there. He's been playing for Brazilian under-17s, and it's just another name to go and look at. Yeah, that's it for the ins. A few outs though for you there.
Oh, have you got some outs? Have you? Well,
I've got a couple of outs.
The other one that I wanted to, the one that I wanted to say was, and I'm going to pronounce his name wrong now. The Christian Orozco. the young
Okay.
Colombian lad that we just bought, 17.
Yes.
He signed his contract. The new Moises Caicedo, obviously, because you have to be the new something. You can't just be who you are. You have to be the new something. But yeah, he's a little bit like the Diego Leon signing. He's signed pre-contract, and then he's going to be coming to Manchester United next season in July, I think it is, end of June, beginning of July. He looks decent, but every player that we get in seems to be called the new central midfielder that's going to solve everything. Like, look at Sekou Kone as well.
Yeah.
You know, he was named as a new person that could fill that number 6 gap as well. So I don't know. He'll need time, and he'll probably go out on loan, which I do believe, and you might have this on your list, Diego Leon is going out on loan as well. I think he's off to Nice to do a stint there. I don't think all is well at Nice. I think Ineos have lost 6. Well, not Ineos, but Nice have lost 6 on the spin. And I think the fans, ultras, didn't even know Nice had ultras, but the Nice ultras got into the ground or the training ground and beat up a couple of players. Happened at Sporting years and years ago. The chairman let the ultras in. And Bastos, do you remember Bastos?
Yeah.
The striker, he got battered with a baseball bat. So, I mean, it's a strange way
There's
to
a claim
encourage
there,
the
isn't
players to perform better. Yeah,
It is, isn't it? Yeah. It is. Just going back to that signing we've made there, Nathan, it's something obviously the club are doing, but you have to bring in 6 or 7 of them lads for one of them to end up a Moises Caicedo. You know, it's not always going to be that every single one of them works out and does that. So, yeah, it's something that the club are obviously trying to do. Bring in these kids and hope that just one of them turns into a gem. Yeah, not too much pressure on them. Keep it that way.
No,
Should
exactly.
we move on to the outs?
Let's do it.
The outs I've got, I'm just going to throw them all into a little bag and then we can discuss them. Manchester United will listen to offers. This is Mark Ogden, by the way, ESPN. For Kobbie Mainoo, Joshua Zirkzee, Manuel Ugarte, and Tyrell Malacia. However, allowing any of them to leave before the AFCON would leave Ruben Amorim desperately short on players. So I think it'll all depend on ins before outs happen. Thoughts on them going out?
Ahmad?
I mean, the only one that I would be open to selling is Ugarte. I don't think Kobbie should be leaving. I don't think Zirkzee should be leaving in January at least. I mean, Malacia, yeah, like I don't even consider him a player on the team anymore. So whatever. But yeah, I think I would feel really bad. But I would feel really bad if Kobbie left. But I would understand. Maybe if it's a loan, then I would feel a little bit better, and it would make more sense because yeah, he's not getting on us. Even the other night, he came on for around like 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. It's not ideal for a player to come on, especially at that age for his development and the World Cup year and whatever. So I would understand if he left. But Ugarte also, he seems to have, I don't know, something happened and he stopped playing at all. Even he never even comes on now. Like he rarely does. So yeah, I think yeah, if you want to sell them, you have to bring someone in though. Like you have to bring someone in. So if it allows us to bring in someone like a couple of midfielders or like a wing back or something, then yeah, I'm all for it.
I think there's a lot of moving parts to all of this. I genuinely believe that they probably will listen to offers for all of those players, but it won't be stuff like, oh, we want to take him on loan, because it's just not going to work. It has to be something that's going to work financially for Manchester United. As Ahmad says there, they need to bring in players to replace them. Now, Kobbie Mainoo is an interesting one because obviously the biggest issue that he's got personally at Manchester United is, well, 2 things. He's not playing and he wants more money. And he's on one of the lowest contracts in that Manchester United first team squad. So he's obviously annoyed. Manchester United are not in any position to like push this. They don't really care. They'll sit on it for a long time. So if you take that into account, getting rid of Kobbie Mainoo and replacing him with someone else is going to cost Manchester United more money. So why would they do that? Unless there's an opportunity that they cannot pass up, I can't see them letting Mainoo leave. and then bringing someone else in. I can see them letting Ugarte leave. I can see them letting Terrell Malacia leave. But when you look at Xerxes and you look at Mainu, no one's going to pay the money that Manchester United want for them. Because it's not just, they're not playing, so we'll accept anything. Manchester United will have a value on both of those players and be like, right, if you hit this or more than this price tag, then yeah, we'll negotiate with you. But you can't just say, they're not playing, so we'll just let them leave. Nah, I can't see it happening.
Yeah. The reports out of Joshua Xerxes that AS Roma are interested in looking at a fee of around about 25 million euros.
Serie A buy players with like broken biscuits and kit bags.
Yes.
Like they haven't got
Exactly.
any money.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't know why.
They'll offer. They'll ask. Oh, we'll take him on loan. Take him. No, that's not good enough for us. If Xerxes goes, if Mainu goes, we have to probably replace them with 2 players, and don't, because it leaves us so thin. But I think, yeah, like you said, the Ugarte one, he's obviously fell out of favour. Ruben Amorim was quite well known that he had a go at him in the past few months, and told him you're not the same player that you were. That will be one that I believe will be going and believing. Yeah. So all dependent on incomings for the outgoings. Yeah. Any more for yourself?
Can I finish on the last one? And it's a bit of a weird one, but I think it's probably worth talking about anyway. The Athletic reported overnight that Marcus Rashford's loan is likely to just run its course, and then he's going to be sent back to Manchester United because they're not going to take up the 30 million quid price tag or obligation to buy. So Marcus Rashford, his dream, and this isn't to do with the fact that he's not playing well. This is purely financial. He's doing well over there. I mean, he's out of the first team. I think there was some personal problems. I think there was some other things. There might have been illness, and then he went out of the team. But he's not been having a terrible time over there. Apparently, he's been playing well. Hansi Flick really likes him. But him coming back to Manchester United next season, Ahmad, where do you think he's going to end up going after that?
I have no idea. I still think there's a chance Barcelona would activate the clause, but I don't know. Like, I can see him going PSG. I think one of you boys mentioned it on the group the other day.
Yeah.
I think maybe PSG would take him. Maybe like he goes to a Premier League club. But the thing with Rashford is his wages. I don't think anyone's willing to pay that much unless he's willing to compromise. Then I don't think there's many options for him. And yeah, of course, there's no chance of him staying at the club as well.
Yeah, I think Manchester United created a monster in terms of the salaries that they gave him, and with a lot of players as well. So it's not going to be easy to shift him on. Do you see him going off to PSG as well, Paul, or is there another option that you think might take him up?
Yep. It kind of, like you say, with his wages, it just narrows down his options to 1 or 2 clubs around Europe, doesn't it? Unless he says, yeah, I'm willing to slash them in half and take 50%, which he won't do. Which there's not many things. Coming back to United isn't an option. Barcelona, it's probably them saying, we can't take up the option because we can't. But they'll want Rashford, won't they? But they just won't want to pay his wages. So they'll be looking for a cheap option. Like you said, with the Italian clubs, the Spanish clubs can't do it. They can do it for maybe 1 or 2 of the players. They can't do that for 6, 7, 8 of the squad. PSG probably the best option for him. There was reports that they were looking at him, and they were also willing to pay more. They were willing to pay close to the 40 million euros to get Rashford. Obviously, Barcelona are the only ones who have 30 million euros that they've got the option for. So PSG were willing to pay more. If we can go down that route, United, if you can get more money for Rashford and you also get him off the wages, then yeah, be all be it. But there's not many clubs that be able to do it. Like I said, Dortmund couldn't do it. Do you know that kind of option of him going to there? But yeah, it's not going to be an easy 6 months for Rashford because he would have been hoping, yeah, I'm here to stay. I don't think that's likely anymore, to be honest with you, the reports that are coming out.
Next up for Manchester United, it is West Ham United at Old Trafford. At Old Trafford, I do believe. 8 o'clock in the UK, 12 o'clock in Dubai, which means it'll be Friday morning. It's not even on the same day. Ridiculous. We talked about this at the beginning of the podcast. It's a game that Manchester United are expected to win. But as we know, this team, this Jekyll and Hyde side, you can't count on them for anything. So I'm going to go with you, Ahmad, first. Do you think they can win this?
I mean, they can win this, and they should win. But the thing is, will they win this? I don't know. I'm wary now of going into games thinking, yeah, it's gonna be an easy win or whatever. Like, because I felt that before Everton. I don't think it was gonna be an easy win, but I thought that 90% we're gonna win it. So yeah, like the thing with United is, like I said, it's depends on the pressure that they have. If they go into the game feeling no pressure and they just seem to be complacent, you know. So yeah, West Ham is a very winnable game. They lost to Liverpool, which is, I mean, enough said. Like if you get beat by Liverpool, then anyone should be able to beat you, honestly.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and yeah, we should have a few players back. So yeah, we have to win it and then just keep building, because I still do think that we're capable of going on a run of wins, and we should, and we would put ourselves in a very good position in terms of where we are in the table heading into the Christmas period and that busy period. So yeah, let's see.
West Ham United, incidentally, were one of about 18 teams that got the double over Manchester United last season, both home and away, which is incredible to think of. But do you think, Paul, that Ruben Amorim should start with the same squad that he played against Crystal Palace? Or do you think he should make changes? Because obviously we're going to have Matthias Cunha back from that head injury. There might be a couple more back. We've got Lisandro Martinez, who obviously needs minutes as well, although they probably need to be managed a bit better. Do you think he should start with the same side?
Depends how, what's the word? Joshua Zirkzee, it depends how the manager's going to treat how he played in that towards the end of that game, the second half. The option is to drop Zirkzee, bring Cunha straight back in. And I'm not sure if he will do that. He'll probably start Zirkzee and then bring Cunha off the bench. That's probably the way I go. I think most of the squad, most of this first team should stay the same. It's very important for United how they approach this game and the start. If you start the way you did against Everton and you start the way you did against Palace, you're just giving West Ham, you're giving them something to build on. You've got to start this game in the right manner. And they haven't done recently, United. I don't know where that comes from, because beginning of the season, you think back to the Chelsea game, think back to the Arsenal. We started on the front foot and we really got at teams. In the past couple of games, it seems to have disappeared the way that it started. Maybe it's nerves, maybe it's confidence, I don't know. It's really important that they start and they approach this game correctly. You're not just going to walk over any team. You have to get at them. You have to be put on the front foot. Maybe he will go with Dorgo or Dallo. That's another option there. He seems to have managed, he seems to have settled on a decent starting 11 now since the Sesko injury, doesn't it? That seems to be the ones that he goes for. The biggest option will be Cunha or Zirkzee.
I think, well, you're right about the quick starts and trying to get into them and pressing from the start. If it wasn't for two miss hits at the weekend against Crystal Palace, we should have been 2 up within the first couple of minutes. So it was a fast start, sure. So they went for it. But yeah, it was one of those confidence things again, that once they didn't score those, they went off the boil in the first half. I do think that the big decisions in terms of individuals playing in the squad, I think if you take Zirkzee out, you're going to crush him. I think. Yes. I think if you take him out after that second half performance, I think that is a sign in itself to say that you're not trusted to do this. And I think that would just set him back. We've seen how he's been crushed in the past. We all remember him being taken off against Newcastle United and walking straight down the tunnel. That was, we don't want to see that again. We want to see a fully confident Joshua Zirkzee. So I don't hate the fact that Matthias Cunha starts from the bench, even though he's a far superior player. But I think they should probably start with most of the first team that started against Crystal Palace. The only change that I would make, I think, at this point would be I'd put Mazraoui over Lenny Yoro at right centre-back. And you've given me a thumbs up there, Paul, so I imagine you agree with that one.
Yeah, it's a massive thumb as well, that wasn't it? Right, it's great.
Was.
I was just thinking throughout the whole team. Lenny Oral's struggling for confidence a little bit at the minute, and he probably could do with taking out and just being dipped back in. And yeah, either that or you just say, carry on. Just we're going to stick by you. We're going to stay with you, mate, and just see how you get on in a home game against a team where you should be more dominant. But it's another thing for the managers to think about.
You agree with that, Ahmad?
Yeah, for sure. I think Lenny Euro, he's still a young player. People tend to forget that he's still around 20 or 21 years old. And especially for center backs at that age, you're always going to make mistakes. So it's just a learning curve for him. And it's good having an option like Mazraoui, who I think fits that right center back role more than anyone, because even when he came on against Palace, we spoke about how the aggression changed and the intensity, and that's why we started doing better. But also having Mazraoui, Ahmad, and Buemo on that right side, because Mazraoui, he plays as a right center back, but he keeps overlapping as well, and then he creates space for Buemo, he creates space for Ahmad as well. If it's Lenny Yoro or De Ligt there, I don't think it's the same. But I just wanted to say also about the Mateus Cunha, if he comes in or not. I think you don't take out Xerxes, you take out Mount. I think Mount, especially taking into consideration that he played his first 90 minutes ever since he joined the club, I think it would make sense. Okay, like we take it easy with him as well. You don't want to risk anything, and I think you need Cunha in these types of team, because like when you play against a team at home, against Everton, we missed Cunha a lot. I think he would have made a big difference, because when you play against a team that just is a low block, like especially like we all know the Nuno Espirito Santo teams. They're all the same. He just plays a low block and he goes on the counter. So if you play Cunha instead of Mount, and you have Mount as an option also to come off the bench, which is amazing. And I want to see Cunha and Xerxes together on the team, because I want to see how they link up. I think they can create something together. So yeah, I would definitely bring back Cunha in. I wouldn't put him on the bench. I think Cunha is one of
Yeah.
our most important players, especially in those games like the games at home against low blocks. You need someone to unlock something, to be creative, to create something out of nothing. And Cunha
See,
has that.
that's interesting, and I agree with you on the Cunha situation and what he brings to the side. I also think though that Mason Mount is so important to the press that he can't afford to drop him. Now, Mason Mount has only played one full 90 minutes, as we discussed before, in league football for Manchester United since joining in 2023. However, when he does play, the trigger for that, for the press, he's the one that does it every single time. And in the second half against Crystal Palace, he was key to getting that ball back. And there was a few times where he was just running like a dog after the goalkeeper, after Dean Henderson, after Mark Gay, and he forced a couple of throw-ins just by being like tenacious and getting up the pitch. I think you lose something, but I can also agree with what you're saying about Cunha's more technical and he's better at unlocking. But I think as a whole, Ruben Amorim's side will lose something if they don't have Mount on the pitch, because I don't think anyone's as good as pressing as he is. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. It'll be interesting to see. You've got a curious look on your face there, Ahmad. Is that something that you're like, nah, mate, nah, I'm not having it?
I agree in terms of I love Mount. I think Mount he's a brilliant player to have in the team, and I do think that the team looks different when he's in the team. But again, it just depends on the opposition. I don't believe West Ham are gonna have much of the ball because they're gonna just want to play it long. So and also like I have to say, Cunha is good at pressing as well. You're not gonna lose much. Mount is better, but I don't think you're gonna lose much if Cunha is playing. So if you wanna compromise, then maybe you take out Xerxes, and then you just play Mount, Cunha, and Buemo, and then you can press very well. But I think Xerxes has to play just because of he's a striker and he needs confidence, and they don't take a striker out of the team once he scored. And I do think he offers a lot to the team as well when he's playing. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Honestly, I wouldn't mind anything. Like if Mount starts, Konya on the bench, if Konya starts, if Xerxes is on the bench or whatever. Like we have options, which is amazing to have right now.
The one question that I wanted to ask you, Paul, I'll start with you, Paul, is AFCON's obviously around the corner. We know now that Manchester United have to release the players that will be taking part in the competition by December 15th, which I think it's the Bournemouth game. They can play it and then jet off, a little bit like what Andre Onana did the last time it was on. He's Andre Onana not going to the AFCON, so still affecting Manchester United's look in the season when he's not there, because obviously with him in net, there's more likely that they crash out and Brian Mbeumo comes back early, but that's not going to happen now. With that in mind, in terms of the players that are going to be leaving for AFCON, does Ruben Amorim need to make more of an impact with his substitutions in these coming games? As in, does he need to give Kobbie Mainoo more time in the game? Does he need to play? Does he need to try a Shea Lacey or someone that is going to be taking up those positions when they go to AFCON? Because what you don't want is you get to AFCON, Mazraoui, Mbeumo, Ahmad, all off, all leaving, and then it's like, right, yeah, you get into the team now. You've had 3 minutes in the last 4 games, but yeah, go on. We're expecting you to hit the ground running now. Do you think he needs to do a bit more with his substitutions?
Yeah, it's a tough one for the manager, that, because how do you, especially with the Mbeumo and Ahmad, how do you just drag off your best 2 players and say, there you go, there you go, there's 10 minutes or there's half an hour? You can't have them sat on the bench, those lads, can you? So I get where you're coming from, because it's hard just to say, right, there you go, get on there, you're in now and do something. I don't think he's got that luxury, the manager, mate, to be. If you're 2-3-0 up, maybe you can. If they're on the bench, you can bring them on and say, right, get used to it and get in there and sit, just enjoy yourself. Unfortunately, United aren't in the position that we used to be in anymore, just to bring in kids or bring in Kobbie Mainoo just to enjoy yourself. He seems to be brought on and go, right, your back's to the wall, we've got a 1-0 lead, or hang on to it, or we need a goal, you need to produce something. No, I don't think he's got the luxury, Nathan, to be able to do that.
What about you, Ahmad?
No, I agree with Paul that you can't just take out your best players just because you want to prepare for something that's coming. But I do think that lately, whether it's because of injuries or whether it was planned, I don't know. But we do have options for when Mbeumo and Ahmad and Mazraoui leave. Because like all the players that are gonna come in for them are players who are already playing. Like you can then start Mount, Konya, Xerxes up top. All of them are playing, and then you can start Dalo and Dorgo on the left. So Dalo instead of Ahmad, who's also playing, and then you can play Lenny Euro instead of Mazraoui. So players that are already having minutes, they're in the rhythm already. But the issue is going to be that these players maybe haven't played together as much. But that's something I think that would come, like, it wouldn't take much time. So I think we're in a good position, and let's hope that those players don't stay at AFCON long, honestly, because we're going to need them so bad, especially Mbeumo and Ahmad.
Yeah. Okay, score predictions then. I'll go with you first, Paul.
3-0. 3-0 United.
Whoa. He's going all
Going
in.
big.
Are you going to the game, by the way? Are you going to it?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Thursday to the evening at 8 p.m. No, work in the morning.
All right. Ahmad?
Yeah, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet, so maybe I'm gonna go for like a 3-1. 3-1. Although I
3-1.
said that I think it's gonna be a draw, I still have a feeling that it might be a draw, and we're all gonna be disappointed.
I was gonna say I'm less optimistic, and I think it'll be Desmond. I think it'll be 2-2.
2-2.
I think it'll be.
Paqueta's still suspended, by the way. That's a big miss for West Ham.
That's important.
Very good player. So it's his head completely went in it at weekend.
A man that has just been, what do you call it? Cleared of spot fixing, suddenly gets talks himself into a red card. I mean,
Careful, Nathan.
Come-
Careful.
come
You
on.
get yourself a
I'm just-
lawsuit on your hands.
I'm just saying, it's a bit odd that you would do something like that. But this is the period of time when players try to have a bit of an extended holiday.
Yeah.
Look out
Christmas
for those
coming.
rash challenges. Look out for
Yeah.
those rash challenges coming over the next couple of days. There'll be a
Yeah.
few red cards coming. Before we finish, FPL pick. Who you having? I'm going to go with... I'm going with Ahmad
Bruno.
this week.
Bruno for me.
Bruno.
Yeah,
Who you going with?
Bruno's my captain already, so
Oh, is he?
Loves it.
Interesting.
Loves
Right, before we finish this bit, little quiz for you. Little quiz. So, obviously, Manchester United and West Ham United have shared some players in the Premier League era over the years. And I'll let the first person who gets it the closest, I'll let that person then go into the next round first. All will be revealed in a second, even if it sounds complicated. How many players, Paul, have played for both Manchester United and West Ham United in the Premier League era? Without looking it up. 8. What are you saying, Ahmad?
honestly, I can't think of much. But I'm gonna say like 10.
Okay, Ahmad is closest. It's 14. It's 14.
Is it really?
It is. Right. Okay, Ahmad, you can go first then. What we're going to do is going to try and name them. We're going to try and name them. So we'll do 30 seconds and then your time's up and we move on to Cropper. So you got 30 seconds when I say to name as many West Ham United players and Manchester United players that play for the same club. And your time starts now.
All right, Rio Ferdinand.
Correct.
Javier Hernandez, Chicho,
Correct.
Patrice
Yep.
Evra.
Yep.
I want to say no. I want to say Carrick, but it's not going to play for West Ham.
10 seconds.
Carrick.
Who did you say? Yeah,
Carrick.
Carrick. Yep, 4.
Who else? Can't remember.
3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. Right, just to recap, you said, let's put them down here. So you said Rio Ferdinand. You said Michael Carrick. Let me have that one as well. Who else did you say? You said Javier Hernandez. And there was one more. Who was your other one, mate?
Evra.
Patrice Evra. Well done. Well done. Right, okay. Paul, you get to have your goal now. You better not have it up on your screen. You better not be...
There's only one I can think of adding to that, and that was Wan-Bissaka. That was it.
Right, well, you're gonna be. You got your 30 seconds coming up in a second. Are you ready for it?
Well, that was
Yeah?
it. Oh yeah.
Well, you can have that one. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Wan-Bissaka.
Yep.
I can't think of any more. No.
Ooh.
No,
his
they've
brain's gone
completely
blank.
gone. Yeah, it did
Is
do
it
when
the
you
shi-
asked the question completely.
The shill's
Shilling
not
it.
kicked in. Where is it, mate? On those 2 coffees that you
No.
were bragging about at the
Honestly,
start of the podcast.
when you were doing it there, there's only Wan-Bissaka I could think of on top of them.
He's gone. 3,
Yeah, he's
2,
He's gone.
1. Right,
Rubbish.
that was Ahmad wins that one. Do you want me to give you the rest of them?
Yes, please.
David Bellion,
Nice.
Roy Carroll,
Yeah.
Luke Chadwick, Jesse Lingard,
Oh, Lingard.
Teddy Sheringham,
I want to say Sheringham, but I wasn't sure.
Jonathan, middle name Taxin Spectre, and Carlos Tellez. That joke just went over everyone's head.
No, it didn't.
Tax Inspector.
Tumbleweed.
Proper dad joke, but very niche as well. Well done. I enjoyed that, lads. Let's wrap up with the Gummers mailbag. Right, it's time for the Gummers mailbag. Ahmad has had to leave. He has more important things to do than talk about Manchester United, apparently.
You killed
But
him after that quiz.
I know. Well, he's gone out on a high, hasn't he? You know, riding off
he
into the
has with
sunset.
a win. He's like, I'm taking
Riding
me
off
3
into the
points. I'm
sunset.
going.
Exactly. The first one that we've got, the first ever voice note that we've been sent in from Kev.
Yes.
So
Kev.
I'm going to play it so that you can all
Go on.
hear it, and then we'll go on and answer it afterwards.
I have a question for the Gummers mailbag. Given the inconsistency of all the teams, apart from Arsenal, possibly Chelsea and City aside, can the mighty Manchester United finish in 4th place?
Oh, that's a good question from Kev. With
Isn't
the
it?
erratic behaviour of all the clubs around Manchester United, can they make a push for top 4? I had a bet with the radio host that I work with, and I said at the start of the season, Man United would make top 4. And I was pretty confident in it, and then I wasn't very confident in it because obviously we watched what was going on the pitch. But I think that the fact that everyone is taking points off everyone, nobody looks really stable at the moment. Look at, I know Man City ended up winning the game last night, but they were 5-1 up, and it ended up 5-4. Like, they're all against Fulham. They're all losing points here, there, and everywhere. Why not? Is what I'm going to say. Why not? Why could they not make top 4? I think Europe is probably the target. I think that's probably clear. But I don't see any reason why they couldn't. They just need to string together these results, and it all starts from the Palace game, and then it has to move into the West Ham game because you need to build up momentum. If we come out of this period, this Christmas period into January with wins and without the AFCON lads, like if we can keep picking up wins, then I don't see any other reason why we can't make top 4. Well, I'd be delighted, obviously, but yeah, why not? What about you?
Yeah, it shouldn't be the aim, should it, top 4? But I'm just looking at the table now. I didn't know Villa were up there, to be honest with you. And
yeah, they've been sneaky.
It's almost like nobody wants it. Nobody wants that top 4. I mean, is it top 4? Is it top 5 for Champions League? With the coefficients and all that? Like, do we know yet? Or
I don't know yet.
No,
I'd have to
neither am I.
double check that.
Neither do I. But yeah, it shouldn't be the target, United. I still think we should be aiming for top 8 is where we should be looking. But like you said, we had a tough start of games, didn't we? We had a tough first 10 games, was it? We looked at the beginning of the season. First 8 games. It's there if somebody just wants to go and grab it. So it's going to be down to whoever says, right, I'm having that. We're having that there. Obviously, when you look at the table, 21 points now, Sunderland above us, Brighton, Villa above us, Liverpool on the same amount of points. Like I say, it's possible, isn't it, Nathan? It really is possible. And if you
between now and the 4th of January, and I know we've done this before, but you gave me what you thought the results were going to be. But it's West Ham at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home, Villa away, Newcastle at home, Wolves at home, and then Leeds away. Like, if you can stick a run together on that, then you're laughing.
Well, the thing is, we said that, didn't we? And then we got pumped by Everton at home. So we've no idea what we're going to do, this team, are we? But what I will go back to Kev's question is, it's possible, but no, I don't think so.
Oh, you're not having it? Interesting.
No.
I think top 4 for Manchester United.
I think we've seen enough from the players to know that top 4 is probably just about out of our reach.
Okay,
in my opinion.
Fair enough. I've got one message that came in via email from Johnny, who simply says, is Chido Obi cooked at Manchester United?
Patience, Johnny. Just be patient with these kids, because we all love the fact of, we've got this wonder kid who's doing this in the youth team. Let's see how he gets. Just let him develop, let him mature. He's probably as frustrated more than anybody else, Chido, because he was probably thinking, I'm going to go to United. They don't have a striker. I'm going to be in there in the next 18 months. And I'm going to take off. And you think his career is just going to go boom through. You have bumps in the road. You will have little injuries. You will have form. You will have fallout. He's a young kid. Just bide your time. No worries about him. but it could take 2 to 3 years for him to come through and be part of the first team squad, and then hopefully move on to be a starter. But yeah, it could take 2 to 3 years.
I think the interesting thing with Chido Obi is I don't think he came in with any misconceptions about how Manchester United were going to use him, because I think I'm fairly certain that when he signed, one of the reasons why he did sign and didn't sign a professional contract at Arsenal was that Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada, and possibly, was it Eric Ten Hag was the manager then? Was he the manager, or was it Ruben?
It will have.
Or was it Ruben?
No, it would have been Ten Hag. Would have been Ten Hag, I think.
Whoever was in charge at that point had a sit-down meeting with him when they were trying to encourage him to come to Manchester United, and they painted out a pathway. And it was well reported within like the Athletic and the Guardian that the reason why he chose Manchester United was because there was a way to get to the first team. Now, Ruben Amorim's recent comments, I think in his pre-match or post-match after Everton or before Everton, he was talking about potentially, or was it an interview that he did with Australian Sports TV? Either way, he's been quoted as saying that last season they rushed certain players into the first team and he didn't want to make that mistake again. He said he had a look at it and it was the wrong thing to do. And these players now are trying to get back into contention for that, but he needs to protect them. And he didn't name names. He didn't name Chido Obi, but there aren't many beyond that. Do you know what I mean? It has to be Chido Obi or, well, Tyler Fredrickson, maybe, but probably not. Aiden Heaven. Bloody hell, where's Aiden Heaven these days? That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Let's see.
Where is he? But yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, Paul, in that we just need to be patient with these lads. I think we all want to see Shea Lacey play. We all want to see Harry Mass playing for United. We all want to see Chido Obi playing for United. But we also all want to see them ready to play for Manchester United.
Yes.
We don't want to see them floundering up front against West Ham and just praying that he scores a goal. It's nice to hang your hat on things like this and be like, oh yeah, you know, he's great. I'm going to watch it because this lad might get his debut. But we need to be careful with him. It's a short career in the grand scheme of things.
There's 5 or 6 kids in that team that they've got high hopes for. The likes of Mantato, JJ Gabriel's another one that you could just go, oh, he's a superstar, throw him in. But you could easily just ruin the confidence, ruin where they're going. There's a lot of them that the club will be looking at. They want it to be another golden age to bring through. This is from our youth team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you have to bring them in, take them out, bring them in, take them. You can't just go Wallop like Fergie did. I mean, he did just go Wallop. There you go. But that was a one-off. So you've got to bring them in, take them out, bring them in. Let them have 15 minutes. And like I said earlier on, we don't have that luxury at the minute. So just patience with the kids and give them a chance to develop and mature as people and as football players.
Yeah. Very well said, mate. Right. That's the end of the podcast. It's a mammoth one again this week. It was nice to have Ahmad on, if not for the final 90 minutes. It's like walking off and leaving us with 10 men like Sashko the other week. But we managed it. We managed the final bit. So thank you to Ahmad. Thank you to Paul. And we will speak to you again after the West Ham game. Oh, but before that, do remember to check out fergiesgunpodcast.com.
United.